And welcome back. This is ModelOmega, and you're watching Part 2 of Chapter 6 of Thracia 776. Where we last left off, we had to deal with a group of reinforcements come to quash us after we escaped from the prison as we make our way out of Manster Castle. Brighton's in a real bit of a tough pickle here. Any one of these guys can conceivably kill him. And it's probably good that he didn't kill that armor in return, as the other guys would just go to attack him. I'm very surprised it did not have to restart after that part. When I was having him exchange the armor he captured for the battle axe, I forgot to have Fergus unequip the armor slayer, so he's going to end up killing the rest of these axe armors here with the battle axes that I want. Whoopsie daisies. I was so happy when this bow armor decided to attack Brighton instead of the Elfire mage, because even if that bow hit, it wouldn't have killed Brighton, but the Elfire guy definitely would have one-shotted him there. And this Elfire guy would have left Fergus with just 1 HP if it had hit. Ooh, that would have been scary. And hey, another great level up. Keep on going, dude. The only things I have left to do in this chapter are visit the 2 villages on the left, take out the remaining enemies around me, and have everyone escape down past the door on the south. But I have to do it quickly, because soon I'm going to start having reinforcements show up, and then eventually Gauls us, and once that happens, there's really nothing left I can do. I have to get everyone out of here as soon as I can. It kind of bothers me sometimes that so many of the really useful weapons in this game are B rank. Stuff like magic swords, most brave weapons, and stuff like the armor slayer. The only super effective weapon that isn't a B rank is the hammer, which is a C rank. Speaking of super effective weapons, there is actually one weapon that did not return from Genealogy of the Holy War, and that was the Wing Clipper. It was a sword that was super effective against flying units, and to my knowledge it's only appeared in that one game, none of the others. Would have liked to see it return in this game, it would have helped in a couple of chapters. This bow armor here could be a bit of a problem. All of my units are either too far away or exhausted to really do damage against this guy except for Asphalt, but that would require me killing him using the Graf Caliber, and I don't really want to waste more uses of that. So I had the bright idea of using Dawshin's hand axe to attack this guy, and it went about as well as you would expect. Yep. Hand axes and javelins in this game are pretty bad as ranged weapons. They're almost like last resorts. So, unfortunately, I am forced to use Asphalt's Graf Caliber to kill this guy. I could have tried to peg him twice with fire, but it may not have killed him on the second hit if he didn't crit, and that would have had a lot of problems. But at least he gets a decent level up out of it. And yet again, this next part is me just moving a whole bunch of units at once, so I'm just going to skip over that next part, and I'll see you back in a bit. And there's that big batch of reinforcements. All 8 of those social knights are using long lances, so be careful around them. And just as a heads up, when these guys show up, just remember that 2 turns later is when Galzus shows up. So don't try and actually engage these people like I did. Just get out of there. I mean, I had Hicks try and go to the shop there to sell that Hellfire Tome, and I just realized that he's not going to survive if I have him go over there. So I had to get him the hell out. Also, I should mention that you don't really have to worry about using a door key or a thief to open that door on the bottom. If you just have someone wait against the wall, the door automatically opens because the villagers are there helping you out. And I actually remembered there's a big difference to this chapter if for some reason you did not go to chapter 4X. If you didn't visit that chapter, well, you should probably restart your file because that means you didn't get Asphalt. But if you really didn't visit that chapter and you didn't know that you could get one of the best units in the game there, and you got to this chapter, Seti will actually show up with a bunch of magic group members on turn 5 and engage the big group of enemies on the top. He'll leave after 4 turns, but I mean, I guess it could help you escape from here. If this game is really that tough, I guess you could forego getting Asphalt, but I really don't think it's worth it. Of course, you may also realize that if I just say that Galzus shows up after 2 turns, boy, I still have those 2 houses on the left I have to get to. Well, thankfully, Karen's absolutely saved my arse on this. Her ability to just fly over obstacles and have Kanto makes a real big difference in going after the houses, though you should be wary that she isn't left in range of one of the armors. That could be a bit of an issue. They won't one-shot her, but they'll bring her down to pretty low HP. And just like that, the villagers open the door for you. That's very helpful of them. In fact, there's a point later in the game where you can actually have villagers help you again in a certain area, but it's best that you don't ask for their help, as you get a good reward for not actually needing it. I think I let Dawson hold on to the Seti scroll for too long. He's starting to reliably double now. That's kind of scary. Ooh, and the music has changed all ominous-like. This is a track I was alluding to in an earlier video when this is the kind of music that plays when bad stuff has happened and you may be defeated soon. And just like that, visiting this house, we've obtained our 4th Crusader scroll, the Odo scroll. It's very simple. The Odo scroll provides a 30% boost to the user's skill growth. That's it. No minuses, no other pluses. It's nothing special. Skill is not a super important stat in this game, but it's nice to have on a unit, you know, pretty much guaranteed a skill up. That's something, I guess. And I was also a bit wrong about the magic ring. In a previous video, I said that it boosted the magic by 3, but it actually does 2. In fact, I also said the life ring increases it by 5 when it was by 7. Sorry, I get a little confused sometimes about stuff like this. I'll be sure to check Cernus Forest in advance about stuff like this to make sure I'm not speaking out of my arse. Aw, Galzus, you're late. Do you need something? Can't you see? One of our prisoners escaped. It's a powerful one, and we need your help. Pathetic. And now is when you promptly need to GTFO this chapter. Galzus is coming after you, and you can't never be too careful around this guy. Like I've said earlier, he has 5 movement stars, so every time he ends his turn, he's got a 25% chance to continue moving and reach one of your guys and absolutely murder him. Sort of the funny thing is, despite the fact that Galzus is practically unkillable at this portion of the game, he actually has a death quote. Yeah, just like the Black Knight from Radiant Dawn Part 1. And I mean, he is really impossible to kill. I don't think there's a way you could kill him, but I mean, I could maybe see you getting lucky 18 times in a row with Aspho killing him with Graf Caliber, but I could never actually see that really happening. In order to have Karen reach the above house and come back a safe distance, I'm having Fergus take out this armor on his way with his armor slayer. Although I should be been probably a bit more careful about this because I think Galzus could probably reach Fergus if he activated a movement star on his way down, so take that with a grain of salt. Being Axe Knights and having an advantage over the Lance using Cavaliers, I'm having Hicks and Brighton hold them off as the rest of the units go through the pathway to the escape area. And now that Karen has visited this house, we get the Elite book. This is a skill manual, meaning when you use it on someone, it gives them the skill. The skill Elite is the same as Paragon from other Fire Emblem games. It doubles the user's EXP growth. This is undoubtedly useful, and there are two really great candidates that are coming up. One pretty soon, the other a bit later. We'll get into that later. This is also where Hicks's halberd comes in useful, as it'll take out any of the knights in this chapter or the next in pretty much just one hit. Brighton, however, pretty much has to rely on his Wrath skill to kill these guys. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I can really say about this chapter that I haven't already said. So, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe if you really want to. It would bring a big smile to my face. And I'll see you guys in Chapter 7 as soon as I get around to narrating it. See you guys later. Lord Rydrick, Prince Leaf has escaped the castle. You fool! What were you doing? You can't even capture one measly little rat. We're sorry, sir. Command General Eisenhower to lead his troops and pursue him immediately. Would be a pain if Leaf escapes into Thracian land. Yes, sir. By the way, what happened to that Merida girl? I haven't seen her. Well, I was going to tell you, but the guards were ambushed, and she was taken. You were all so useless. You do not have any idea at all who did it. Whoever did it was clearly very skilled. Some people say they saw that mercenary, Galzus, near the scene. Are you sure he can be trusted, my lord? Galzus. Some claim that they saw the markings of Odo on his back. If that's true, it means he is of the royal family of Isaac. I'm not so foolish as to hire a mercenary of unknown origins. Yes, he is part of the Isaac family. He is the prince of the now demolished kingdom of Rivo. He is in fact the cousin of Prince Shannon of Isaac. Isn't Prince Shannon one of the leaders of the rebel forces against the Empire? Is it safe to hire one of his relatives into our service? Do you know anything? The kingdom of Rivo was invaded and destroyed by Isaac's forces led by Shannon's grandfather. Galsus was put through many hardships as he was just a youth. Do you really think he would help Shannon? Ah, I see. I can see why he let that girl escape. I saw the same markings on her back as well. What? No, it is nothing. Anyway, do not worry about Galsus. That girl is of no use to us anymore. However, we can afford to lose Galsus, so don't do anything to him.